Okay, today we're going to be going through all of the games events from Aromas era, which would be 2007, 2008, and 2009. And we'll just like
Real.
kind of rank them. We'll just come to an agreement on wherever to rank them at. And this could be based off of anything, like whether you like the rep scheme, the actual way it played out, anything like that. So it's just kind of subjective.
So do you think we'll be shuffling them around, up and down, like if we like, because we're just gonna look at one at a time, or are we gonna
Yeah.
look at all of them? Okay.
Well, this is what it looks like. It's just some free tier list maker I made. And I couldn't get rid of the ads, so we're going to have to just deal with it.
We're on the low budget podcasting.
Low budget StreamYard, low budget tier list maker.
Just having a good time. Anyway.
All right. So, first one is this is the first games event ever. 1,000 meter row. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. 1,000 meter row, then 5 rounds, 25 pull-ups, 7 push jerks.
What's at the top above A? Was that an S?
Yeah. I don't know what I've never understood that, but have you ever watched any of these? Like they do the tier lists?
I've seen that, like I follow an account that uses this exact same like
it always goes S A. I don't know what but S is above A.
Like superior or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why.
So S is the top.
S is top.
Okay.
For me, like the cool thing I like about this is it was out of the hopper.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would love it if they did another hopper event at the games. What do you think?
Yeah, like if they compiled just like a humongous
just put like every movement you could imagine into a
just
hopper.
Like a humongous like hopper, like a I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, but yeah, and then just that was the CrossFit Games is whatever they pulled out. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Or just one event.
Yeah, true. Just one would be cool.
Yeah. Or a couple, like a whole day. What if they just did like the first day was just everything out of a hopper?
That would be cool.
That'd be so sick.
Watch it just be like so biased towards like one thing. Just like so
random. It probably would be.
Yeah, it'd probably would be the coincidences. It would just be so biased.
It's like 10 rounds for time, 5K run.
I like this workout though, because it's still like, for the most part, the style of it like still holds up today. The only thing is like the weight on the push jerk. It's crazy to think that like how light that is. Like it's so irrelevant if you think of today. Like even at like that's something you'd program for like an intermediate like local competition weight.
Yeah, I don't even think this still like I don't even think this would hold up for like a RX competition.
Just for the loading of like the push jerk, but like yeah, I mean like if you're doing 5 rounds, I mean that's 125 pull-ups. It's a good volume and
yeah, it's a lot of pull-ups.
So I like the style of the workout with the buy-in on the row. Yeah, it's just classic and first workout ever, right? It's kind of dope.
Yeah, I like it definitely bumps way up because it's out of the hopper. But in terms of like the actual workout, I just feel like it's kind of a little bit lacking.
Well,
because
I mean, what
so
lens?
Light.
Yeah, are you viewing that from the lens that like what we know now? Because I mean, that's the very first event ever. So I think it just kind of context matters.
Yeah, but I mean, like in the first event ever, that was 2007. Wasn't there people that had already been doing CrossFit for like 4 or 5 years?
Probably.
There.
Maybe like 2005. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But still,
I don't think
years.
Like it's just so light.
Yeah, and I just know. Was it James Fitzgerald that? I mean, he won the competition. Did he win that event?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess maybe my mind is being skewed from a nostalgia point of view. But what are you thinking? Like a B or a C?
I'll go A.
Oh, okay. Let's go. What
do you think?
Well, I was definitely going to say A or B, but then I thought you were more towards B or C. Okay. So I feel like we could land at B maybe.
Okay, let's go B. I just say.
I guess I forget. Hold on. We are ranking them only the Aroma era, so let's maybe do A. Because I'm skeptical.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't mean to drag this one. My computer's being slow. Okay. Event 2, 5K trail run. I don't think this was out of a hopper. I think it was like planned. Like I think they were gonna do one Metcon, and then they had planned the 5K trail run. I'll probably go. Like it's just not that. Whatever. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of like efficacy of like just a test, like I think a hill run is great, obviously, but it's not anything like it's just like makes you jump up and down for, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's similar. Probably just like B.
Let's go like B or C. Yeah. Okay. I think the next one. Was CrossFit Total.
Thought I was going to be clear of distractions today. Sorry.
So event 3 was 100 max back squat, 100 max strict press, 100 max deadlift. For me, this kind of just falls under the same as like the trail run. Like it's just something, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's very basic. Just like strength output test. It's obviously a good test. But yeah, it's nothing.
Do you think that the CrossFit Total skews towards like deadlift?
Yeah, probably just in terms of like percentage of weight like being lifted, like it's just easier to.
I feel like it would be more well-rounded if it was like a bench.
Back squat, strict press, and a bench.
No, back squat, deadlift, bench.
Oh yeah, just because bench press. Yeah, probably.
Like bench, you could make up 40 pounds on me on a bench, but like on a strict press, nobody's really gonna make up that much. Like maybe 20 pounds, but
the margins are too close. I think that'd be good to sub that out. I'm always like negatively biased towards the CrossFit Total because I hate strict press. I suck at it just because I suck at it. But deadlifts, I just always, you know how my thoughts are on deadlifts. Like I just feel like they're so biased towards like leverage and like your levers of like your anthropometrics that. I mean, obviously everybody has their own.
I was gonna say, but you could make that same argument for like benching. You can make that same argument for squatting.
Like Colton Mertens and squatting. I know, I agree, but it's just like I feel like you see someone be super strong in deadlift, and then like any other strength stuff, they're just kind of like they can just be so mediocre. This seems weird. So it's just like it doesn't feel like that much of a faith test for me. Yeah. So it's like, Vellner's not that strong. Like he's okay, and then he has this insane deadlift. So is that like a true like test of like raw strength? I mean, I don't know. Once again, I'm just negatively
applicable biased. Application of force.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go. I think it's been a little bit played out at this point because they've done it like 3 times now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna go C tier.
I just don't know about the context of how we're voting though, because this is the first time that we've ever.
It's just whatever you want.
Competition. All right, yeah, just like it now. Yeah, I'm good with. You said D.
I said C.
Oh, C. Yeah, I'm good with C. I don't care for the CrossFit Total.
I think the press is super biased or like non-biased towards the press, and then I think that it's just played out at this point. Okay. So that was the 2007. Then 2008. I don't remember which one they started with. Let me confirm. Do you think we've reached like at this point as many events as we're gonna have?
Like at a CrossFit
so
Games?
The first year they had, like the first year they had 3, and then I think the second year they had like 5 or something like that. 4. Do you think that like 15 in 2021 is like the most we're gonna see?
In 2020, right? It was 15. I think so. Like Dave recently talked about it on when he was on the Boys Interrupted with those guys. And it was just like the only reason why they're even able to do 15 was because they only had freaking 10 competitors total. So just from a logistical standpoint,
Mhm.
like setup and everything like that, it's just unreasonable. So I think, yeah, like that 12, that 11 to 13 events probably what we'll see for a very long time.
If I program the games, I would have like probably 20 plus scores. Like maybe
Over
they'd
how
be
long?
over. I like in the same amount. Like maybe they'd be double scored events. But I think the more scores you can put on, the better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in an ideal world, like looking at it just through that lens of like scores, but like I feel like so many other
And you could
logistics
do it.
come
And you
up.
could do it without like doing too much, like
Yeah,
volume
maybe.
stuff.
Like, don't you think like they've thought about that? Like, I just feel like so many other logistics come up that like make that not
Yeah, like
reasonable.
time and stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
Time, yeah, just resources, but also it's like skewing towards because if you're doing that many events, then that obviously means a good chunk of them aren't that like demanding in terms of like a physiological capacity. So like I
Yeah.
gotta imagine there's a lot more emphasis placed on like specific skill, like way skewed towards skill.
Or just like you could do like I've always thought it'd be cool to have like a back to back like this is totally off the rails, but like I've always thought it would be cool to have like a back to back like muscular endurance. Like you do one that was like 20 pegboards for time, and then you do some amount of rest, and then you do like JT, and then you do some amount of rest, and then you do like something super leg heavy. And so you have like back to back muscular endurance.
Hmm.
And maybe you rest a couple minutes between, but they're not going to like super affect each other. And you could test like you're testing pressing endurance, you're testing pulling endurance, you're testing squatting endurance, you're testing like hinging endurance. I've always thought it'd be cool to have like something like that back to back. And like those wouldn't be super metabolically demanding, but like they still could mess you up pretty bad.
Yeah, but I mean that's a lot of intensity and slash volume in one little chunk that takes away from other things that you could probably test on other events on other days. Because
Yeah.
if you did that much in like such a like a short thing, like you kind of pigeonhole yourself.
Do you think that like 20 pegboards for time would really mess you up?
Oh, dude, yeah. To me, for sure, I'm not that elite at pegboards, so that would be so
What,
hard. I think I would
what
try to
like your
do
biceps and back and stuff?
just everything. Yeah, like if it were me, honestly, like just thinking about that, like right off the top of my head, I would do one at a time and try to break just every
Oh
time
yeah.
for like 5-10 seconds and then back up, break 5-10 seconds, back up. Like I wouldn't try to string any together.
Isn't it crazy that Matt did 5 straight at the end of 2018?
I didn't realize that. That's disgusting.
That workout that started with 5 pegboards, he just
Hmm.
went touch and go.
That's so silly.
He was the only person that did it. And he had like already clinched, so like he didn't even need to do it.
Right? It's just kind of whatever.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
All right. First event from 2008 was 30 squat clean and jerks at 155.
I love this workout, especially because it's squat clean. That's just like a night and day difference of a test that if it was just regular
If it was just clean and
power
jerks.
clean and jerks. Like it
What
tests
do you
so many
think
things.
about Go ahead, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was
What do you think about that you basically didn't have to stand up before you jerked, before you did your jerk?
oh, so they kind of like treat it like a thruster almost, like a cluster.
Yeah. Like some of
Uh,
them were clustering.
well, I guess were they making them do it in a
It was
jerk? So
basically just
testing.
no, it was just like basically squat to overhead.
So it was a cluster,
Yeah.
the squat clean thruster. I would, yeah, I would rather. Yeah, it does change it. I would rather them have to stand it all the way up to extension and then do the jerk.
And then dip.
I mean, it's still a
Why?
great test. I just feel like um, it puts more of an emphasis on like I feel like it rewards movement economy and like those who move well and efficiently, rather than just like,
Dude, that redip would ruin me.
dude, yeah, just like it's just the extra amount of extension and time under tension, right? Like having to finish one rep and then pause, kind of rebrace, just like all this extra stability and balance that you'd have to do for each rep, I think just adds up. And so I think that's another layer of like testing, someone who's more capable, is because it's like just more layers.
Yeah. I like this workout. I think it's do you think this would still hold up as a test?
You think it still would?
I'm saying, do you think it would?
Honestly, if they made him stand all the way up, and even at 150, I think it'd be a great test. Even at 155.
What if they didn't make him stand all the way up?
It would still be a good test. I still like it. It just is a different test, I think.
What would people get on this? Like
having to
high ones?
You think anyone would do touch and go?
I think people would go touch and go on the last like 5.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't think it would be worth it, dude. What would they get? Ooh,
like 140s, 150s.
Yeah, maybe. I was like thinking Jeff Adler, probably. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely like power output and like muscular endurance stamina test all day. 30. I think sub 2 is definitely doable.
That's crazy.
Disgusting. That's just straight battery testing, like, dude, just like well, not battery because it's not heavy.
That's leg endurance at that point, I feel like.
Oh yeah, dude, your quads would be obliterated.
I would love to see that. I think they should bring this back.
I think it's a great test, honestly, at the same weight too. Same weight.
Yeah, same
ladies,
weight.
Maybe ladies be 100 and well, why? That's weird that it's 100. Yeah, give them 5 extra. Then you can just keep it for the nostalgia. I like that test. I'll give that an S.
I'm gonna give that an S too. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the best ones. Dude, my computer is done for.
And I'm like obviously a little biased towards just anything like weightlifting, barbell, but like I just feel like the test of the barbell and like a cycling capacity, dude, it's just so hard to be good at it, and it's just so demanding. Like the mix of skill and engine, like, and you can get so many different variations of like a stimulus with the load of the barbell, the type of movement you do with the barbell. Like it's literally just like a never-ending.
And if you want to talk about it, like that is like CrossFit. Like that is a type of fitness that nobody outside of CrossFit's gonna have.
100%. You can't even explain like the out, or can't think of words today. The type of feeling that you get, like, it's just like it's so many combined into one, between like lungs burning, but also like the lactic buildup and all your muscles, and dude, it's just so many things that.
And you still get that like sprinty, like almost shaky feeling, even though it's 2 minutes long. It's crazy. Yeah. So I've been doing like, because I had like rolled my ankle and stuff from rugby, I've just been like totally out of it. So I've just been doing like almost only erg stuff for the last like 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then on Friday, I did like a 2-round chipper with rowing, GHD, wall ball, bar facing burpees, and shoulder to overhead at 135. And it was like 30 of each, 2 rounds. And like just the feeling that I got from that is crazy different compared to like it's just like, because I hadn't done like classic CrossFit like that in a while. Like the feeling you get from something like that is just like you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, cycling a load, even like we talked about barbell, but even if it's just like a pair of dumbbells, like cycling, I mean, it's a little different, but still, just like just the response you get physiologically is just it's hard to can't replicate it. I don't think
it's weird. All right, event 2, hill run. This one was a 750 meter. I'm looking for it on here. 750 meter in length.
This is the one they redid in 2020 with the feed sack, wasn't it?
No,
Or no, am I
No,
thinking something different?
I believe that's a yeah.
Oh, that's the other one,
That's a different one.
170 meter.
That's this one. Yeah.
Wait, 7K? Oh, so long.
No, less than 1K, 3/4 of a kilometer.
Wait, what's the 7K then? I don't get it.
That's that's a different one.
I thought, okay. Oh, you're on the bottom. Sorry.
We're looking at this one.
Steep, offshore, something in length over rough terrain. You know me, my PFAA brain. I was
gonna say,
literally the first
is
thing that
this
came to my mind is that they would never do. That's pretty sketchy. Just like this random rough field that could just have like this like 8-inch divot pothole that's just like hidden behind some like bush, and someone just freaking snaps their ankle in half.
Yeah. So is this not PFAA approved?
I definitely know Brent would not approve of that for sure. But no, I mean, I think that's a sick. I think it's a sick test.
What do you think about 750 meters? I feel like that's such a like terrible distance.
Sorry, you said something about the distance.
I said, what do you think about 750 meters? Like that's right at that like
it's long.
Not quite a
But
kilometer.
not long enough to where you can pace it.
Yeah.
There's no pacing. But it's long enough too that it's not just a full speed sprint, obviously.
Yeah. I like this one. I'm thinking like A or B.
Yeah, in terms of like not even thinking about like I think I'd say A. It's a great test.
I really like that they're doing the shorter distance.
For the run or just time domain in general?
For the run, like for a short like trail run. Because a lot of times trail runs are like kind of associated with going longer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just love like a short trail run. My computer's done for.
Yeah, I wish I could have like a better like memory bank of like what these events look like when like I read them off, because I've definitely seen footage of some of them, but not.
Do you want me to try and find one of the?
No, not necessarily. I don't care. It would just help me try to decide what I thought about it.
Once we do like Carson and Madison, you'll be able to do it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I've never even watched a lot of these. All right, the next one is Fran, just straight up Fran.
And I'm only
2008.
I would only give it as high, like a B at the highest, maybe even C, just because it's OG. But I mean, yeah, Fran is just so boring.
Such a bad workout.
I mean, it's sick because like the evolution of it and like what it used to be. I think because like we just have it tainted because it's just so played out, obviously. But I feel
so what do you think about a workout where at the games no one is breaking anything?
It's probably not appropriate at the games, I don't think. Because if no one's breaking anything, I usually don't, unless it's meant to be like a sprint in terms of like a race on your feet. I don't love scores being the spread being so close.
But couldn't you argue that like that extra intensity of like me and you both doing something next to each other, both going unbroken, then it's like I have to just try and make each rep faster. Like, isn't that kind of like the point or intensity that you can get out of that?
Yeah. But I think.
But then you also have the issue of something like Fran, it would just come down to like length or height or whatever.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't like it being dictated based off of logistics of more criteria. Like, I want less factors to play a role. I don't know how I'm trying to say that. Yeah, it's like everyone could go broken on it. It just kind of favors,
Shorter or taller or whatever.
I feel like as a programmer, like someone who programs, like you can be creative enough to not have that be the like a linchpin to people's like results.
But that being a linchpin can just like add so much intensity and like test people in such a different way.
I agree, but do you think it's good for a test at the games?
I'm not sure. I especially think that if it's something like a thruster where it's so range of motion dependent, then
Can
no.
you think of a test?
But I'm trying to think of a. Go ahead.
Modern test. Can you think of a modern era test that like it was just like unbroken throughout, no problem?
I don't think I can.
I'm trying to think of like even something close to.
Oh, I could think of something. Last year they did. It was like 12 toe to bar, 8 dumbbell snatch, 200-meter run.
Yeah, but with that having the run in there, like that's enough of a separation itself. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, the snatch in the snatch though. I mean, was it 8 snatches, 12 total bar?
Yeah, I think so with 100.
I mean, 100 is no joke. I think all the athletes did hold on to it, but you know that like the variance in like how well athletes can handle that dumbbell is very different in terms of cycle speed.
Yeah. But I also just thought it was cool. Like you saw them hop on the bar and you could tell those 12 toe to bar, they were like trying to go as fast as they could on each rep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny too. You brought that up just because on that same podcast with Castro, Hopper was giving him crap. Like, are you going to program something with more than 12 toes to bar in a set? Kind of was just like, why did you do that? That was stupid.
Did you think that was stupid? I thought it was fire.
I don't. I think it has its place. Like the argument you're making. Like, I hate to put up a wall or like have parameters around things. Like, you can only do certain rep ranges this, or you can only do certain movements with this. Like, it's just like we always talk about, like when Boz was programming and stuff, and it's like people are so in a box with things. Like when they think of rings, like they think you can only do this. Like there's so many other options you can do with things. So it's like I think, yeah, nothing's off the table in that context.
Yeah, I like things where it's like you really have to push the cycle rate, but again, it's an issue when it comes down to range of motion. Can you think of any like barbell or gymnastics movements where you could push the cycle rate, but you wouldn't have a major advantage if you had shorter range of motion?
Would not.
Yeah.
Only if it was like. No, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe.
Like I'm thinking of all these tests, and I'm like, okay, we want them to do something where they have to push the cycle rate of that of the movement.
Right.
But then it's like anything I think of, no matter what, Colton Mertens is going to have an advantage over Pepper.
Right.
So then you come into the issue of like, okay, you kind of have to program it almost to where there's a break. Someone's going to have to break.
Yeah. Where do you think the balance is, though, of like when we talk about people having their like being favored, right? Like the argument of like, yeah, just like longer people being favored on the run or heavier people being favored on the Echo bike, right? I just don't know the comparison there. And that's why like I not hate making the argument, but what makes the argument hard to argue is because I don't know, it's hard to weigh out which is.
Well, I have a big problem with people looking at workouts in the context of height. Right. And I know I'm doing it right now, but like I just think that if you vary things enough, then like the fittest is going to come out on top.
Right.
and like thinking of things and being like, okay, I want this to favor tall people and this to favor this person, I just think is the wrong way to do it. I think the right way to do it would be like, I want this to test this aspect of fitness and this to test this aspect of fitness. Whether tall people are better at it or not is irrelevant, because
I
what's actually
agree.
relevant is you're testing the different aspects of fitness.
I agree, but the question I'll ask you, what boat you're in. Like, I would say that I wouldn't buy it at all if any programmer, Castro, or whatever doesn't. If they say they don't think about size at all, right? I'm not saying it's their primary influence or factor, but you can't tell me that there's no way that, like, as they're reviewing workouts or thinking about them, they're not thinking like, range of motion. Like, for a fact
Yeah.
that it's a factor subconsciously, even if they're saying it is or it isn't. Like, I don't know. I'm just
But
thinking of the most the NorCal Classic I just did. Like, more than any competition I've ever done was non-favored towards the shorter athletes. Specifically, like, first handily, you saw Colton, and he dropped out. Like, did you pay much attention to the competition, like, events?
yeah, it was like there was one of those like basically wall balls,
But you
and
think
then there
about,
was the
I mean, he dropped out, obviously, but even if he wouldn't have, he would not have won.
yeah, but didn't it wasn't he hurt?
He was. But I'm saying, yeah, but I can't say what affected him. But if you think of the ring muscle workout, it was just like covering distance because it was combined with running.
Yeah.
And then he smashed Isabel, which he should have. He took first, right? And then the truck push, he didn't do great on because he had to move something a horizontal distance.
Mm-hmm.
And that one could have been his back. I get it. Could have been his back. But then you go to the next day. Trying to think first event off the top of my head. Oh, it was like
Was
it
it
was wall ball stuff and
yeah.
pullovers. So he could have done decent on that one. Like, maybe he didn't do as good because of his back. I think he dropped out after that. But then even after that, it was like, still had to cover distance, farmer carries.
Which that
The
workout was stupid, by the way.
the pirouettes. I thought you loved the pirouettes.
The way they did just that workout was dumb. Like the workout itself.
Bro, that event was a joke.
Yeah.
Outside of literally my performance, it literally, like, yes, I did not perform that great, and I wouldn't have made the games even if I didn't have any other excuses. Like, but outside of that, like, it was pretty ridiculous. But that's a tangent. We can move on.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Like, I think people are thinking about height, but I think you should only think about height in the context of if it affects the aspect of fitness you're trying to test, not if the aspect of the fitness you're trying to test affects height. So like, I'm thinking about doing a workout where you have to go unbroken because I want people to push the cycle rate. But then I have to account for some people are just going to have faster cycle rate because they're shorter, which kind of defeats the purpose of the thing I'm trying to test, right? Like Colton Mertens can go slow on a total bar, and he's going to go the same speed as Hopper sprinting a total bar. So then I'm not actually testing Colton in what I wanted to test him in.
Okay. Do you think as a programmer, though, you have to just kind of take that on the chin and then just try it on another event, just maybe like even it out in a sense?
Yeah, but like if I'm testing Hopper's ability to sprint on a total bar, but I'm not testing that for Mertens, then that's an issue.
But I don't think you can expect the same potency or stimulus across the board. I don't think that's the goal.
Yeah.
Like, that's never the goal. Like, there obviously is going to be like weaknesses and strengths tested, different types in all in different events. Like, you know what I mean? That's why it's CrossFit is CrossFit, and we give the plethora of a broad test in general, is because we know that's the case. So I don't think that you can go down that route of thinking while you're programming, because it's not relevant. I think if you're programming, like, training,
Well, I still think you should take it into account.
I don't know. I don't know if to the severity like you're thinking of in terms of like the cycle rate. like what stimulus you're trying to get though. Like what stimulus they're getting versus what else someone else
So you
is
think
getting.
it should just be just a test? But even if it's just a test, you still want to know what you're testing.
That's another thing interesting too. Is like when you're programming, like who like the program, because you're always programming with an avatar in mind. Like who's your avatar? Like either whether it's the person that's actually testing for you, like they have people testing the games, or like who are you thinking of? Whose capabilities? That's what's pretty hard because you have to have like, like once again an avatar you're thinking of to. So yeah,
To
I think
like
that's just,
design the workout for.
yeah, because you're obviously like thinking of someone's capacity or like like a caliber of athlete's capacity. Like
Yeah,
what
because
they
I mean,
can
like
do.
when Dave designed that one that was 200-meter run, 12 total bar, 8 dumbbell snatch, like he knew all the games athletes were going unbroken on those total bar.
Correct. So we want it to be like an engine capacity, like engine test, like putting probably more emphasis on the running.
Yeah.
Because
But then you also saw like Ricky Garrard, who's really good at like strict stuff on the gymnastics, would get on the bar like a couple reps behind everybody and then get off on the same time because he could just like do toe to bar that much faster than everybody.
Okay. Let's move on to the next workout.
Okay. Fran, where are you putting it?
I said C just to give it a little bit of, but you can put a D if you want.
OG.
Yeah, I just like can't like hate on it that much.
Then the next one was, I think this is the deadlift burpee one. Okay, 5 rounds for time. 5 deadlifts. Oh, yeah, 5 deadlifts at 275, 10 burpees. First question. Does this still hold up?
I say no only for the fact of it being just a regular burpee. I
What
think
if
it
it was
has to
like
be.
bar facing?
I say it
Or
has to be
to a
over the
target?
bar or to a target. Other than
Do
that,
you think
yes, but it would be so fast that I actually do think this is like what we were just talking about, where it's like the only limitation I think really comes down to. Yeah, I don't think it holds up.
range
Never
of
mind.
motion?
I don't think it holds up.
Okay, let me give you an example and you tell me if this holds up. 365 for men. 10 burpees to a 8.5 foot target.
8.5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Gross. Yeah.
You think that holds up?
Yeah.
Does everybody go unbroken on 365?
Yeah. For 5 rounds. Yeah. I think it's too energy. It like costs too much energy to just dead stock any reps for only 5. Like,
Yeah.
So. But I like that workout, especially like training. I look at that for someone like me where hinge capacity, I get blown up, especially pairing double hinge, deadlift and burpee, where like that's a great training stimulus for me to do to like burn it down, and really push the throttle just because like that type of cycle speed is going to be freaking intense. And I know it's going to blow my posterior up and just be good training for me.
I agree. I also think that deadlifts specifically can just cause so much. I don't even know what the word would be, but like if you do an unbroken set of 5 deadlifts at like a decently heavy weight, like let's just say this was 365 or something like that, like the feeling you get after, like the lightheaded kind of like rush you get after dropping that is just something you can't get from like almost anything else.
Right.
So I love
because like any other barbell lift is not that simple. So it's the cycle obviously of it slowed down, and because it is just up and down, so it is obviously less range of motion than obviously like an ollie lift and if you're doing like a strict press or a bench press, like just the intensities, like the velocity on the bar is not nearly as fast, right? So yeah, it's like you definitely can't compare it.
And like I feel like there's nothing obviously there's nothing other than a deadlift where you can move that much weight.
Right.
I love mixing a deadlift and a burpee. I think it's probably one of my favorite combos. I'm gonna go A tier. What do you think?
Yeah, I think A is good.
Just because I think it's a little light. I mean, I'm sure everybody even went unbroken on it back then.
Yeah. I personally like, because I mean, we're voting subjectively. Like, I love couplets. I love
Me too.
couplets in terms of like training, just the simplicity and only having to focus on two things, just allowing you to be like so engaged. Yeah, I love couplets. It's probably like my favorite.
I think of my training that I do, I would say like more than half the time I'm doing couplets.
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
I don't like to do. I really don't even like doing more than 3 movements, like outside of triplets. Like, it's definitely necessary, especially from like if you're a competitor. But I just think like doing that many mixed modal things, it's just so messy. Like, and it's hard to get intensity out of it. And I think it's monotonous doing all those transitions. So I think of it from the lens of like programming for classes, but also for myself. I don't love doing more than 3.
I feel like if you're doing more than 3, then it has to be like a chipper
Yeah.
where you're like breaking the movements.
And I don't like chippers. I personally, and that's just biased, subjective. I don't know. Just don't love doing chippers.
What don't you like about them?
I don't know. It's like I said, it's totally subjective. It's more so probably to like a weakness of mine. I do better off. I'm always in favor of like breaking stuff up really small. And so like I like when things are broken up into chunks and I can just like cycle through and go on to the next thing, where I feel like oftentimes when you see chippers, or mostly chippers, are like big chunks. And you can still break them up, but I feel like just like the monotonous and redundancy of the movement from like a muscular endurance standpoint doesn't favor me historically, and so I just haven't loved doing them.
Yeah. All right, 7K hill run. This is the first one from 2009. I'm gonna go C tier just because they just keep doing it.
Yeah, same.
I mean, not that I don't think it's a great workout or like a great test, but it just was a little played out.
Mm-hmm.
But they do have one later. I think it's like the 4th one, another one in the same year. Okay, event 2
Deadlifts?
Is it?
I don't know. I thought
Yeah, because we went straight into it, right? Yep.
Yeah, like right after the hill run.
So event 2, one deadlift, going from 315 to 505, one rep every 30 seconds in 10-pound increments. And I think this the one where they reversed it from the way you finished in the trail run? So you came in from the trail run, and then the last person to come in from the trail run
No, I
started the
think that
deadlift?
was 20. I know they did that for sure in 2016. I don't know if they did that here. Probably though. Maybe, I don't know.
It's crazy seeing. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was gonna say it's crazy seeing that they started at 315.
You think that's heavy or too light?
It's just like so light. Like if you did that at the games now, like the first 10 bars would be useless.
Yeah, you would need to start at 405.
Yeah.
I mean, back then I think it was appropriate. I didn't realize that this, like, just never paid that much attention, and I don't know if it was this way in 2016. Was it the same with every 30 seconds?
I think so.
I like that a lot. If it was just like a deadlift ladder, just like building whatever, and time wasn't really relevant, I would like it a lot less. So I like that it is on a time restraint, and then I do like how the run plays a factor.
Yeah, me too.
So I don't know. I think I would give it a B personally.
I wonder how many people finished this because it ended at 5:05.
Yeah. I don't know. A few for sure.
Can every games athlete now deadlift 5:05?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few who can't, especially from those like weaker regions.
Hmm.
Then I don't know. I remember at like Rogue Invitational like 2 years ago. It was like Victor Hoffer, I think, had like a terrible deadlift. Like it was like 475 or something.
Oh,
So
geez.
just like I think there's a few outliers. There's probably a few.
All right, so I'm gonna go like A or B. What do you think?
I said B.
Okay, I really do like the every 30 seconds.
Yeah, I say I would have done like a C but like the time is what makes me like it more.
Yeah. Okay, the next one was a 170-meter hill sprint, but you had two 35-pound sandbags.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I like that a lot.
170-meter. So I think that was the same course they did at the 2020 games.
Right.
Two 35-pound bags.
That's just so awkward and so hard.
They were like the big, longer, like feed sack type ones filled with sand.
Yeah,
So
just
like
throw them
people could
over.
like drape them over your shoulder.
But I'm all right with that. I wouldn't want them to be so hard to hold that's like such a limiting factor. Is like
Yeah.
can't figure out how to hold them.
Yeah.
As long as that loads on the body and just kind of like, yeah, I'm good with that. I wouldn't want it to be so.
Does 70 seem heavy?
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, sprinting was
Like, is that that's not a sprint at all, is it?
I mean, you're moving pretty hard, probably out of the gate. But like now that I'm remembering the 2020, like them moving uphill, that's pretty. Obviously, like you're gonna drain your battery pretty quick.
Yeah. All right, I like this. I like the two 35-pound sandbags. I like the distance. I'm gonna go A tier on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I would even give it a.
You say S? I'll go S tier. Okay. This next one is everyone's favorite games workout. I lost you, Drake. Are you still there? Row 500 meters. Pound a stake into the ground. 4 feet for men, 3 feet for women, if I'm not mistaken. I lost Drake, I think. Row, pound a stake into the ground, and then row another 500. I'll probably go. Oh, he's back. There he is. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I plugged my phone in and it died right as I plugged it in.
Oh, you're good. So row 500, pound a stake into the ground, row 500.
Freaking D.
D?
Oh, no words, only because I know what the freaking footage looks like, and absolutely D. There should be. I'd put it as Z if there was a Z. This event alone, the footage of this event to this day hurts CrossFit. Negatively. It does. You can't convince me otherwise.
Why do you say that?
Bro, the footage that goes online of this event looks like the dumbest thing in the world.
Are you talking about the
just like tapping it and just like just dumb.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's say they redid this. Rogue made everything. Rogue made the hammers, Rogue made the stakes. They were in like some sort of something where you could like tell that they were hammering the same thing. It might not even be a stake, but like hammering something into something. Rogue made everything like it looks super sick.
I mean, it's definitely best case scenario, and like in an ideal world, it would look cool. But like, I would not even have enough faith in the competitors to. I mean, you saw the footage of what it looked like last year of like people swinging a freaking sledgehammer. Like, there's just some freaking dorks out there who don't know how to overhead swing a mallet or whatever, that type of thing. I just do.
So is that why it looks stupid? Because they're just like,
yeah, just because they look
instead of like,
dumb, and like I just don't think that there's no way you could make it uniform. So it's like, I mean, Rogue would have the best chance of doing it, but it would be pretty hard to like make it even across the field.
what do you think about the assault banger from 2017?
I think once again, in an ideal world, it's sick. Like, it looks pretty good, I think. But then, obviously, there was people that were able to cheat it, which ruined it. And obviously, some people did look dumb doing it too. I like
I
the
like
idea.
that one though.
I like the assault banger too. Like it's good, but like they'll never bring it back because of it just didn't work.
Yeah, this one I'm gonna go D because just the presentation was not great.
That's an understatement. Yeah.
Also, yeah. Anyway, 3 rounds for time: 30 wall shots, 30 squat snatches at 75.
I love this workout.
Really?
I love that it's 75 too. 75, 45.
What do you think about the? Why do you love that it's 75?
Because it's so light, and it'd be so annoying to have to snatch a weight that's that light. Because you wouldn't even treat it like you would like your normal mechanics of a snatch.
You just be like snaking under it.
Yeah, but like it would still force you to have to be efficient with how you move. Like you couldn't like just like you couldn't just treat it like it was nothing. Like you just have to just go through the motions of getting somewhat of an extension, even if it's not like a full extension. Got to get below parallel. Still got to stand it all the way up at the top. And it's like, yeah, paired with wall ball, that's disgusting.
That's 180 squats.
180 squats. You'd be wrecked. Ugh. You'd be wrecked.
Okay, does this one still stand up as?
Dude, I think it stands. I think it stands today. Same weight, everything. Think of how brutal that would be.
I would actually love to see this at the games this year.
How big are people going on the barbell?
Yeah, like 15s.
Yeah, because like I don't think you can go unbroken throughout on all 30.
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying. I definitely think there's enough separation, and like I think you're smart and break up. If anything, you maybe even break up wall balls before you break up the snatch.
And you know what's kind of beautiful about this too is like because it's contrasting, like I feel like we were talking about the rep speed earlier. You could almost do this sort of couplet with something where you can go unbroken. And because they're like contrasting with heights, you could kind of get the
I think it's
where
perfect.
Both
like,
people are pushing the rep speed.
Yeah, no, I like that workout. I'm S for that one.
Okay, I'm gonna go S2. I think that one's freaking sick.
I honestly want to program.
We should program this for the
like that. I wouldn't do that much
volume.
Probably not 180. I would do something similar.
20 and 20.
Like maybe a squat clean even. Maybe just because, yeah. I could see myself doing, maybe just I'd probably do a squat clean. There's actually a hero workout that I was looking through hero workouts where it's I can't remember what it is, but it's so many squat cleans at like a lightweight. I can't remember what it is. It's like 3 rounds. Honestly, it's like 3 rounds of like 800-meter run and like 25 or 20 squat cleans at 95 or something.
Ugh.
Yeah, just like, yeah.
Okay. 1 rep max snatch. I think the highest that somebody hit was like 225 this year or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
That 08 or 09?
09.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to pick any 1 rep lift, I would like it to be a snatch just because of how hard the movement. Yeah, it's the most technically efficient. So I'd say A.
I go A2. I mean, it's played out at this point, but whatever. Okay, 8-minute AMRAP, 4 handstand push-ups, 8 kettlebell swings, 12 GHD sit-ups. I did not realize they did GHD sit-ups this early on.
8-minute AMRAP, 4 handstand push-ups. I don't love. I don't know. Do you think you could EMOM this?
4 handstand push-ups.
Oh, easily. I mean, do you think you could?
What is that, 70?
I don't know what the transition space looked like. They did American. Oh, easily. Yeah, I bet the winning times were like over 10 rounds.
Back then, I don't know, bro.
You don't think? I just feel like handstand push-ups, people were just doing like strict, like da-da-da.
I wonder if they got the leaderboard up here.
I guess not. I don't know. I mean, you could definitely EMOM it, though. 4 handstand push-ups takes you 6 seconds. 8 kettlebell swings takes you 16 seconds. 12 GHD sit-ups takes you 20 seconds. So like 40-something. But transition, so like...
Yeah.
So definitely could EMOM it, no problem.
Okay, is this triplet?
I don't love the time domain necessarily, and I'm okay with seeing 12 GHD sit-ups just because we're not used to, like, you've talked about this before, of like, why can't you put like GHD sit-ups in like a smaller set? Like, why does it always have to be 20 to 30 at a time?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that it has to be, but I don't love the test. It's kind of...
So number 1 was 172 reps. Each round is
12, 20, 24 reps in a round.
So 4.
I can do the math. What do you say, 172?
Yeah, 172 divided by
24.
24.
Oh, 7 rounds. Just over 7 rounds.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder if they had long... I mean, I always got under like their stations, like if they're spread out. And that plays a difference, obviously.
Honestly, I don't... This is one of those ones where, like, I don't understand the mix. Like, why handstand push-ups with kettlebell swings with GHDs?
Just, yeah.
Like, what is this testing?
I think it's the idea of it is supposed to be just very classic CrossFit in the sense of just metabolic conditioning with a little bit of weightlifting and gymnastics. Obviously, you're going to get some interference with the overhead from handstand push-ups and the swings. And then just, you know.
Kind of complementary kettlebell swings and GHDs.
Full body. Yeah, I mean, you're doing
I'm going to go like C here.
I was going to say C, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care for it.
All right, this last one. 15 for time, chipper-ish thing. 15 cleans, 155, 30 total bar, 30 box jump, 15 muscle up, 30 dumbbell push press, 30 double under, 15 thruster, 30 pull up, 30 burpee, 300 foot overhead walking lunge.
30 double unders right in the middle of the workout.
I hate this workout so much.
I definitely don't
I hate the rep scheme. I hate the movement combination. I hate everything about it.
Yeah, it's just like looks like one of those workouts where people are just like, all right, we haven't done these movements yet. Let's just like slap them on the board and like write up a bunch of reps. This is what it looks like to me. Like when I feel like that's what people do in like big chippers. Like it's like the last workout they program, and there's like, okay, we probably still need to see these movement patterns. Let's throw them up in a chipper, and then let's just throw a bunch of reps at the board. That's what I always think of like chippers in most competitions.
Yeah, this looks stupid. 30 dumbbell push press with 40s.
I mean, I like that. It's fine.
30 double unders.
I don't think it's like a bad, like, I think it'd be a hard test. My biggest qualms is just like the presentation of it and just like the lack of, I think, the lack of creativity.
Is this the second double under or a second burpee they're doing?
Was it the same year they did the deadlift burpee?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that.
I think it is.
I don't hate it so much to give it a D. I think it's just like a.
Oh, this is a D for me all day.
If you want to put it on a D, you can. What do you hate the most about it? Just like the sloppiness. I would
just
say maybe
the
like, because it's enough stuff to where like whoever was like the fittest and like good, it would, I think, prevail because it's just enough fitness that it's would be hard. But yeah, like I said, I just think the presentation and the creativity of it is just like, it just looks like it's just like slopped on there. So I don't think it's like good in terms of like how it was given. But in terms of
like if I saw
testing,
this, yeah,
it's
like if I
testing.
saw this, go ahead.
No, I was done.
If I saw this, like I would not want to do CrossFit.
It's
like
just
this
like
is so off-putting to me.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of hard movements, ton of reps, super long. I don't like it. I think that's the biggest reason why I don't like chippers. Like I keep going to the same point is I feel like it's lazy. The programming just seems lazy to me.
What did you think about the chipper at, was it Syndicate?
Besides JR, like that's what I'm saying. Like there was still like simplicity though. Like it was 4 movements. Like yeah, I don't know. Just the way he like presents them is not dull and stuff to me. Like it's like there's nothing, like we've never seen that before, right? Like a hundreds like that. Or I mean, maybe wasn't there regionals hundreds, but that's what it played off of. But you know what I mean.
I'm gonna go D on this because I think the presentation is disgusting. I think it's like there's no like meaning to this workout to me.
Right. Yeah.
Like just because it can find you who's fit doesn't mean it's like a good test or good workout.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just think it's funny, like the randomly just like 30 double unders.
Yeah, just back then, like nobody could do them, and so it was just like such a unique skill. The people were just doing like singles or like one double under at a time.
Dang, 15 thrusters at 135.
Back then, that's no joke.
Yeah.
People were probably doing singles there. But yeah, I'm just like doing muscle ups and then pull ups later on, only double the amount of pull up reps to bring muscle ups. So dumb.
All right, so here's what we got. S tier, 30 squat clean jerks, 170 meters hill sprint, that 3-round one. I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty spread out. I like what we put up in the S tier. Yeah. I still think I agree with everything we put.
Me too. Okay, so next time we'll do a Carson era, which would be 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
6 years. Dang.
7, right?
7 years, yeah. I can't count.
Oh, that one's gonna be a lot. But the workouts are definitely better. Yeah.
Or
maybe we should do.
Maybe you should just pick like a handful or something. I don't know.
Yeah, just pick like the significant ones.
Yeah. All right, I gotta bounce.
All right. Thanks, bro.
That was fun. Yeah, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, peace.